You know what it is. You know what we came to do. It's the Sizzle, the podcast. You know what we do every time you hear us on the mic. You know it's the Sizzle. You know what we come to do, baby. We come in to put that work in, give you the best and the hottest information, the talk of the 219. It is the Sizzle. I'm G Sizzle, and he is J Sizzle. What's going on, J Sizzle? What's good today?
I'm just happy to be here, man. I'm happy. So close to Turkey Day, man. I don't know what to do. Can you barbecue turkey?
Yeah, I think you can barbecue.
Man, I'm gonna hit the barbecue turkey, man, and I'm gonna have me some chicken fried chitlins, and it's gonna be wonderful.
Chicken fried chitlins.
Hey, baby, you from my side of town. We do it any way we want to.
Chicken fried chitlins. Okay, I got you. Well, that's what's a Thanksgiving delicacy around your way?
Always, man. Always around the Thomas abode.
Okay, well, at the J Sizzle abode, there's sauteed, what else?
Succotash.
Sauteed chitlins. Okay.
Sauteed chitlins, man. We'll take it.
Okay. Well, hey, that's what we'll do. We'll take it. We'll take it as it goes. But look here, man. Can we talk about the Chicago Bears for a minute?
They won a game.
Yay.
Wow, I'm so happy. Not.
Yeah. Oh. What kind of terrible person are you? Man. Shouldn't you be happy for the Bears
do we
and all
really
their bareness?
Do we really want to be happy, man, because they beat a 2-9 team that everybody should beat?
Well, okay. Everybody hasn't beaten them. Just maybe 8 to 9 other teams.
Right, and so we're just good overjoyed. And the only reason why the Bears really won because Mitchell Trubisky had a good third quarter, which he's been having good third quarters the whole year. But what happens in the first half? I don't know what's going on there.
I don't know. I'm at the point where I'm wondering how long this experiment's going to go, and how long do we have to keep wondering if this is the quarterback of the future?
I think he's going to be here. I don't think he's not going anywhere. I don't think they're going to bring anybody in. I think this is going to be what it's going to be.
Well, that's a good question. What is it going to be? Really, when you ask yourself, what is this Bears offense? What is this Bears defense? When you look at the three phases, we know what the fourth phase is. We know the crowd is always there. We know the fans are there. But what about the offense, the defense, and the special teams? Let's look at the offense first. What do we know about the offense right now?
One thing we know about the offense right now, they're terrible in the first half.
You said they're what, sir?
Terrible in the first half.
They're terrible?
Terrible in the first half. The Bears, I don't know what happens. Like, they act like they're not prepared for the ball game. They got to wait till that 25 minutes at halftime to go in there and figure out what the other team is doing. Yeah. It's been absolutely amazing. I mean, the first couple of drives of the season, the Bears, they dropped the first handoff. Well, we'll go take that one away. But they looked pretty decent. But then after that, it was like you never thought they had a game plan ready to go.
Yeah, it was pretty scary. It was scary. I think it was scary.
Yeah, I know, right?
It was like a nightmare on our street, and we just keep watching this week after week after week. And this comes from an offensive genius. This comes from the idiot savant of football. Or is he just an idiot?
Look, man, this is coming from a self-proclaimed genius.
Okay.
You think about November 3rd, man, they just came off the first half offensive football ever. I mean, we're talking about ever.
Ever?
Ever.
Wow, that's scary.
Look, ESPN stats said that this was the worst first half of offense by an NFL team in 40 years. The Bears gained 9 yards with 0 points, and that was within the last 3 weeks.
Okay, so with that as a given, I mean, we've said it, we know it, it is what it is. Walk the listeners through, because we're going to go through the three phases.
Okay.
Walk the listeners through the first phase. Offense, number one, how do you fix the offense?
Run the football. You put a fullback in the backfield, and we got to run. We got to come downhill, and you got to run the football. You cannot continue to have these second and 8, second and 9s, and starting off behind the sticks like that. You got to punch the football in there. You got to get this thing down to where a doable third down. 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, those are doable third downs. 3rd and 3s, 3rd and 8s are not a doable first down. And that's what we've been seeing a lot of with the Bears.
Okay, so 3rd and 8, not can't you at least put together one good offensive play that can get you 10 yards? Isn't there one that you can put together that you know is your 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9 package?
The problem is every play is designed to gain yards. There's not a play out here that's ever been designed to be stopped for negative yardage. The problem is the Bears have tendencies, and they haven't broken these tendencies. Now, you saw this last game, the Bears actually start coming out and start going an upscale, fast-tempoed, up-tempoed offense. And you start seeing Mitchell Trubisky not having to read these exotic defenses out here because the defenses had to play on vanilla because there wasn't enough time to put in the checkdowns. So from that standpoint, he was able just to go ahead and read and react off his first read, and he was able to go. Now, but if Mitchell has to get up there and start checking and then check it again and the clock is running down on him, that's when you see the Bears running into problems.
Okay, so now you've got the offense. You're saying run the ball. You're saying bring in a fullback, run the ball. What about the tight ends? What are their responsibility as far as how the offense moves forward?
First thing, you need to have some tight ends. You don't have a tight end on this roster. You know, you had Trey Burton, who's still on injury reserve with that calf. I really don't know. You know, he's been really linchpin of non-tight endedness that we have here with the Bears. I mean, they really poured into a lot to Trey Burton, thinking he was going to be that guy to be able to get up the hash. That guy was able to get downfield against those linebackers, against those safeties, and he just hasn't been in the ballgame. So you got him with an injured calf. You got Adam Shaheen, which has been a bust, an absolute bust.
Do you cut Adam Shaheen?
How much money they owe him?
Not much. He's still on his rookie deal.
Right. So, I mean, this guy's been a bust. I mean, there's at never any point in time where you thought Adam Shaheen was making a difference on the football field. And then you got Brocknecker and you got Taylor Gabriel out there. But right now at tight end, you're looking at a ball club right now who's looking to bring up and play Jesper Horsted from Princeton, who was a wide receiver, and they're looking to play him at tight end. This is what you got going on right now with this Bears offense.
Well, you know, it's funny. You mentioned about Shaheen. You're looking at a player who was signed to a $5.9 million contract. 3.1 of that million was guaranteed with a $2.4 million signing bonus. So does that affect the way you go about looking at keeping him or cutting him?
Well, a lot of times people look at the contract and if they pay for the player, they want to play the player they played. That's hard to say. They want to play the player that they paid.
Got it.
That was pretty good, right?
That
there.
was. I like that. Wait a minute. That was all you. So just say it again. Just say it again.
They wanted to play the player that they played.
Oh, that was amazing. Okay.
I messed that one up.
You screwed it up.
Oh, well,
right when you got ready.
This is what I do.
We were giving you applause, and now
I get right there.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Bears' offense in the goal.
Yeah, and here's the problem with the Bears. This is a real problem I have with the Bears' offense. Maybe the guy I saw that was playing football in college, I don't know why this guy has been on the active, not active roster for the Bears, and they're finally going to activate him, and that's Riley Ridley.
I don't get it. Is it they're redshirting these cats? What are they doing to these boys that they don't play them to the end of the season?
I just don't understand. And this guy has been a standout from Georgia. A standout. How is this guy not playing? I don't understand this.
I don't understand when you have sets where you can run 4 receivers, you can do some other things, how you can't find, if you're an offensive guru, how is it that you can't find a position or place for him?
I'm really starting to think now that players that Mr. Nagy can play are being told to him from upstairs. I think Ridley has been put on the sidelines for whatever reasons and has not been available. If he's not suited up to play, Nagy can't put him in the ballgame. And from what I know, he was playing real well all through camp. So what is the problem there? I think it's a problem that they got guys out there they paid, they want to play them.
Well, that's a good question. So let me ask this. If that's the case, and this is how this is rolling, and the players are being dictated by upper management, is now, can you take that onus off of Matt Nagy and say, hey, this is all upper management's fault. I tried, but they said I couldn't play who I wanted to play.
No, I think you still rest this on Nagy. They've been ranked the 29th offense in the league. 29th. So I don't care who you are. You could have some little sisters of the poor playing wide receiver for you out there. You're supposed to be an offensive guru. You need to know how to get the football to them.
Yeah, okay. I got you. I'll give you that one. And that I think they should, but let me ask this. Do you then start to say, all right, this is what we're doing offensively. We need to do something different because it looks like you're going to be stuck. We had a quick breather when we saw that Mitch was pulled out. There was a backup quarterback inserted. Was that the move? Was that what you were looking for?
No, they don't have a backup that's going to challenge Mitch. They should have brought in a backup to challenge Mitch this year, and they didn't do it because they didn't want to wreck his confidence. Now, look at the Bears situation. They don't have another quarterback to go to. So this is really, I think, on upper management. I think really a lot of this, I know Nagy comes out of a competitive tree of coaching, and the best player plays, and I think right now he's being dictated who can play and who can't play.
Is this decision coming from ownership, or is this coming from the general manager?
Either way is not coming from a guy who's in a sweatsuit on the sidelines of the Bears.
Okay.
So I don't. Whoever is coming from with a suit and a tie on up there, it's got to be. I mean, if you're not getting guys ready to play, Ridley is not playing. He's a Georgia standout, and he's not on the field. I don't understand that. Has he been hurt? I haven't heard any negative about him, that he's been a problem, that he doesn't understand the offense, anything like that. So why isn't he playing? If you got tight ends, you put Adam Shaheen out there, been trash. Trey Burton, it's been trash. All these now you're pulling some guy up from Princeton who's probably smarter than the whole coaching staff. But again, why is he playing tight end when he never played that in college?
Well, okay, could you put Cordell Patterson there at the tight end position? He's large enough.
I think you could put Cordell Patterson there. But again, this is a guy who's being misused. I would say Cordell Patterson, and he was in the backfield for the New England Patriots. Why isn't he in the backfield for the Chicago Bears?
Good question. Could that be because the head coach is trying to be the offensive coordinator?
I don't know. I mean, it's look, this is my word of the day.
Okay.
Befuddled.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to really describe the Bears' offense. How do you have a genius, a mastermind? He is the brain in the Pinky and the Brain situation where he knows offense, but then he can't figure out what position players to put where.
And this is the whole problem. And here's the whole thing about right now. They're going up against a Detroit Lions team who's probably getting ready to roll out their third-string quarterback. They're one of the worst teams against the pass, and they're also one of the worst teams about getting to the quarterback. If this is not a time to hang 30 on a team, there is no other time to hang 30 on a team. And you got to watch, are they going to be just pedestrian and barely pull out this win like they did last week? I mean, the line is only like 1.5 going toward the Lions or 3.5 going toward the Bears. This should be a double-digit line right now for the Bears, and it's not, because you don't know what you're going to get from this offense.
You know what? You don't. But that's why we're going to head to the defense, because we got to get to the other side of the ball. We got to talk about what's going on defensively and where the Bears are deficient in their defensive side of the ball. All right, so let's talk about it. The defense of the Chicago Bears is now in question. You lost Akim Hicks. You have Kalil Mack, who seems to not be giving it 100%. And you've got maybe your best corner who can't catch a ball, even when it's thrown to him and it's put in his hands. So now, what do you do when it comes to this defense, Jay? How do you get this all working together? How do you get it all playing in one good package?
Well, the first thing I think you need to do is get this offense to run the football. That's the first thing. We got to get some of this clock off and get this defense off the field. That's what we need to do. They need to sit on the sideline so they can pin their ears back and play Chicago Bears demolishing type of football that we saw last year. I think right now you're just seeing a defense who's on the field too long, and you're not getting these explosive plays. We saw one explosive play from number 52, Kalil Mack, that he bum rushed and got to the quarterback on a one-on-one situation. But if they're getting more pressure from Floyd on the other side, you would get Kalil Mack on more one-on-one situations, and you're not doing it. So the whole problem is that because you're not getting the pressure that you need to get, that you're not able to come down and play that 6-1 defense like they played against the Rams, where they're just going to come down there and sit in all the gaps, and they're going to dare you to run the football, and they should be blitzing out of that like they did against the Rams, and make a quarterback get rid of the football so you get these DBs who are really good at jumping routes. But when they don't get pressure up front, all of a sudden you start seeing our DBs getting exposed, and that's what you're starting to see right now.
Okay, so the DBs are getting exposed. Are they sitting on the routes too long, or is it a case where you have DBs who aren't finishing the play, who aren't going up and finishing by making that interception and creating that turnover?
They need to catch the football when they have opportunity to catch football. But the problem is that if you're not getting home on the rush, these guys can't anticipate to jump these routes. They know that ball's coming out in under 2 seconds because they know that rush is getting there. These guys can take that first move that wide receiver makes. That cornerback can sit down and drive on that break because they know the ball's coming out. Right now, these routes are going 2.5, 3 seconds down the field, 3.5 seconds down the field, and they can't jump that first move. And that's why you see these guys now running in wide receivers hit pockets, or they're getting picked out here with these drag routes going underneath. They're getting bumped off, and these guys are running free or going across the middle of the field. So, again, a lot of it has to do up front. They got to get some pressure up front. That's what the Bears are all about. That's what the Bears have been about. When they're good, they get pressure up front. When they're good, they can get Kalil Mack one-on-one. Why not start working and getting Kalil Mack these one-on-one situations? Why not bring a safety down on the opposite side and make them have to slide that line to the right so Kalil Mack can get loose on their left-hand side? Why not do that? I don't understand why they don't do it. A lot of it might be from the offensive scheme that's being run against Kalil Mack. What you're seeing a lot, look at what happened to Donaldson the other night with the Rams. He's one of the best defensive players in the country, and he got manhandled up front. I mean, they literally got manhandled by the Ravens because they just decided to run the football right at him. They just double-teamed him, and they just moved him off the ball. So the same thing as you've seen a lot with Kalil Mack is the same type of situation. They're just not going to let him get loose, so you have to scheme him loose. So I would like to see the Bears in some more 6-1s, in some more zeros, something like they're going to blitz and get after it, and let's win. If you're going to live by the sword, let's die by the sword. But they got to get after this is the game to do it. I mean, you talk about a third-string quarterback going out here right now, and possibly with the with the Detroit Lions. And if you don't get a chance to get after David Blau, an undrafted rookie, if you don't get after this guy, and this guy looks like he's okay, and he sits back there and starts picking you apart a little bit, we know this is going to be another long year next year for the Bears.
Well, let me ask you this. What is your impression of Chuck Pagano so far versus what we had last year or what was on the field under Vic Fangio? Has Chuck Pagano, has this defense regressed, not just from the standpoints of injury, but have they regressed because of the calls and the plays and the schemes that they have?
We know statistically they're still ranked pretty high in the league.
I believe 4.
Yeah, they're still ranked pretty high in the league. So you can't statistically.
Got it.
Okay, was that close? Or was it right? Okay, all right. So I'm not going to say that word again, but you can't look at this team and say they are the same defense that they were last year. Vic Fangio played a different type of defense, called a different type of defense. I think you're looking at Chuck Pagano, who is more aggressive than Fangio. He will send a lot of blitzes, but I think Fangio was just a better overall tactician. And I think he was able to get guys schemed up, get them free, have his cornerbacks play the type of schemes that they needed to play. You know, you got Fuller playing dropped off. He drops off 8 to 10 yards every time and pushes downhill to break on balls. You got Amukamara who sits on that side over there and he plays bump and run all the time. And Fangio said, hey, Fuller, if you're best playing this way, that's the way you're going to play. Amukamara, if you're best playing this way, that's the way you're going to play. Now you look at this Bears defense and you don't really see the dominance that they had when they need to be dominant. Now this last game against the lonely Jets, they looked dominant there for a few times during that. They played pretty decently. But again, you do not see that fierceness that we saw at the beginning of the season where the Bears looked at one point in time and I said, this is like the best defense I've ever seen. But they weren't consistently the best defense I've ever seen. But again, I go back, a lot of it has to do, they're just playing too many snaps.
Well, here's the funny part. When you look at the top four, you look at New England, San Francisco, the Bills, and then the Bears, which is ranked above the Ravens and the Vikings, Cowboys, Steelers. And funny enough, the Broncos are in the top 10. They are number 9, with the Titans being the 10th team. But it just looks and it feels different.
Yeah.
There's something that's missing. I don't know what is missing, but it's something missing. It's something that's not there that you really, when you start looking at this team, it's something that you feel, just the eye test tells you something's wrong. I don't know what, but something's wrong.
Yeah, and the whole thing about it is that right now you can see that the Bears are getting a little testy everywhere. You know?
A lot of testy.
They got a lot of testy going on right now. I mean, we had one of our better defensive players right now who is sidelined with injuries, Akim Hicks, and he was on the Waddle and Sylvie show on AM 1000. I think they're on from 2 to 5 or 2 to 6 or something like that in the afternoon. He's a regular on there. They always he and ha-ha. And Tom Waddle jokingly said something about his injury, saying that, you know, the way he got sandwiched in between guys, whatever. And Akim Hicks got upset and hung up. So you wonder if this is a situation where the Bears, when you're on top, everybody loves you. But when you're getting called out now, you don't want the same, you don't want to deal with the same pressure anymore, you know?
Yeah, it's funny that you've seen the pressure really come in, and it's starting to show. Show on the field.
Yeah.
It's starting to show when they're doing press releases. It's starting to show everywhere. So I'm beginning to wonder what we actually have. But you know, man, we're doing a quick one. We just want to give the people something, the audience something to listen to. So, yo, Jay, leave the people with something fresh before we get ready to get out of here.
Look, man, I'm going to tell you just like Mitchell Trubisky's mama said, don't call my boy Mitch. You call him Mitchell. And I just want to say, ma'am, he's a son of a Mitch.
You know what? I don't even know if I was ready for that, but he is, you know, yeah, I'm going to let that go. I'm going to let that completely go because it's going to go terribly wrong if I say something. But, okay, so as always, you know, we want to thank you for listening to the podcast. Look, you can catch us on Facebook. You can catch us wherever you need your best podcast because you're listening to a podcast right now. So you know where to find us.
Yeah.
But we are on Facebook, Iron Skillet Sports Media. You can find us, get at us, look at, man, on Fridays, 6 to 8, WLTH, 1370 AM. We're there. So, hey, come find us. You know how it is. You know what this is. It's the Sizzle, the podcast, the talk of the night, 219. We are the Sizzle.